Hey everyone, in this video, I'll tell you the difference between useMemo and useEffect because it seems they are doing same job but they are not because the trigger mechanism are same for useMemo and useEffect. So in this video, I'll tell you the difference because I also get confused when I'm using both because if you look at this is just my project example, so I'll show you I'll show you the real different I'll show you the real difference. So like here I'm using this use memo, but if you look at this is the just UI. So let me go to the ChatGPT because nowadays I use a lot AI tools because AI can organize, right? Very so so the core difference you can see use memo computes a value. So if you look at here I'm also calculating both. So right now I'm here using use memo, so I'm just calculating. So my project is all about Canva. So the features is I'm just showing the UI. If the calculation the trigger is more than 100 millisecond, then I can show that UI. So that's why I'm using use memo. So that is the yeah so yeah that is the mean of this compute a value, and use effect perform a side effect, right? So as I told you, these two are depend on the same trigger mechanism, right? So when I say trigger mechanism, which means they change the value based on the dependency, right? So now we have to understand two things. First one is a render phase. Second one is commit phase. So React has two phase. So first one is a render phase, which means um, it it calculates what the UI should look like, and it should be a pure and there is no side effect right inside during rendering. That's called render phase. And second one is commit phase, which means React applies changes to the DOM, and second one is side effects are allowed, right? So this is the two main difference. That's why when you are doing something rendering, we use memo. But when you are doing some side effect, we are using use effect. So this is the syntax of use memo. So if you look at this is a use memo and we are using arrow function. This is a compute and a and b, and this is the dependency. So during render, just remember during render, if a or b change, then recompute this value. Otherwise, reuse the old one. I'm saying again, if a and b, so in my case also, if you look at, I just if you look at if my thread ID or comment length or or focus, if any of those if they change, then it recalculate the amount of this one, right? So this is the things, and the rules is must return a value. So use memo have to use memo has to return a value and must be deterministic, and there is a no side effect, and cannot touch the DOM and cannot update state, right? That is the things using use memo. So and the second one is use effect. So this is the syntax, right? So this is the arrow function and do something inside that block. And if you look at after UI is committed, if A or B change, run this code and does not return a value. So use effect doesn't return a value except cleanup function. and this one used for API calls, subscription, login, DOM, interaction, or state updates. Runs after render, not during it. So just remember these two things. Side effect runs during render, and yeah, after a render, not during it. But useMemo run during it, right? So yeah, and both are depend on the dependency. If dependency change, it trigger these two effect, right? And yeah, so if you so this is a wrong example. So if you use the calculation, if you use use effect for calculation, then it's a wrong. Why? So this is the use state. Okay, so initial value is 0, and I'm just running use effect, and I'm just updating the this total state. So yeah, this is the price and quantity. If price and quantity change, then I update this state. So this is the wrong. Why? Because it extra like it's doing extra rendering. Second, this one is derived from state, and it's not a sync, right? So yeah, but the same example, if you use useMemo, then it's correct. Why? If you look at, because it's because useMemo during, yeah, right, so it perform during, so that's why it's a pure, right, and there is no extra render. So yeah, and this is another, like, when you want to do some side effect, then if you use memo, then it's illegal. Why? Like, React may skip rerun renders, right? But for if you use effect, then it's correct. So this is the basic difference. And I think senior developer also get confused, right? Because I also figure out, and here I'm using also that useMemo. So that's I thought, okay, a lot of developers out there, they are not getting the right information, and they get confused. So that's why I'm just telling it. If you like this type of content, please subscribe my channel and like this video. And in this channel I upload a lot of tutorial regarding technology, startup. So thank you so much.